What is your I was into X before it was cool thing? Swine flu. I got it in February 2008 and was the third reported case worldwide. You and the person who got corona should become friends. I just upvoted the third recorded person to get swine flu. 15th person diagnosed also in February 2008. Funny coincidence. Snowboarding. You couldn't even bring them to resorts. 1983. This is before it was too hot. There are still mountains that prohibit snowboards. I don't understand it. Hulu in 2008. It used to be completely free, browser-based, with no ads. It was the only way for me to watch new episodes of Heroes every week. Netflix in 05-06. Getting not one, not two, but 3 DVDs sent to the house for just $9.99 a month. Lol. I used to watch Deadliest Warrior on it when I was around 11. I watched Arrested Development on Hulu back then. Pretty sure I watched Fringe as well. I first saw The Simpsons when it was a sketch on the Tracy Ullman Show, and thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. I was ecstatic when I learned they were making a full cartoon of it. I watched it religiously up until about season 15 or 16 before I finally switched. Every once in a while, like we all eventually did. Don't want to brag, but I bought some N95 masks the second week of January. Edit. Well, some do, some don't, but I've never been in this position before and I'm unsure of the etiquette. So thanks for the upvotes and the awards. From a 62-year-old Canadian woman who's a bit overwhelmed. Someone had a big brain moment. I had that same thing. Everyone in California learned their lesson after the air quality got so bad during the fires in the hardware stores ran out of N95s. So we all stockpiled. I was out for the night back when I was 17, 18/19. A friend and I went to a good pub in Oxfordshire where we thought we'd have a chance to pick up some girls. Ended up getting drunk, taking a knee and listening to the band who were pretty good. After their set we popped out of the pub for a quick joint. The band walked over and asked for a toke. Ended up spending the rest of the evening in the back of their van smoking weed and drinking. Turned out that the band was an unknown indie rock group called Radiohead. A couple of weeks later Creep went international. Been a fan ever since. Edited to correct some piss-poor spelling. Edited again. Wow. Never thought this would blow up anywhere near this much. Thank you to the generous people who have given me awards, especially the gold one. Closing parenthesis. Sent an electronic mail message from my car using a HP 48G calculator and a ham radio in 1993. That feed got published in a technical magazine. Nothing about that first sentence sounds cool, but I know the G is for gangster. Edit. Thanks for all the love, upvotes, and awards. To answer the common questions, I wrote a terminal emulator for the 48G that talked to a terminal node controller, which is like a modem to interface between the calculator and radio. The message. Don't remember the exact details, but I was 16, so it probably went to my mom's Prodigy account. Say hi, Mom. Went through the ham radio packet network until it hit a node with an internet bridge. The car was my POS 88 Mustang that I bought for $1,800. Lastly, the source for G is for gangster as it relates to HP 48G comes from the incredible Nerd Rap Entertainment System album by YT Cracker. Home computing. I started in 1976. Before RGB there was only green. Steve Wozniak. Is this you? Had Tesla stock at $28. Saw an article about it with a starting price of $10. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. I remember when Tesla announced the Roadster back in 2007. I was so impressed. I remember thinking, boy, if I had money, I'd buy that company's stock in a heartbeat. Oh, they're not publicly traded? Well, then let me just forget they exist for the next 8 years. I worked for a movie theater chain in 1996, and my boss got a VHS copy of Jesus vs. Santa Claus at some industry event. We watched that video a dozen times and laughed our off. About 6 months later, South Park debuted on Comedy Central and we were very excited to see it had been picked up. Oh man, just made me realize I'm getting old. Spotify. I remember I had to use a VPN to use it in my country. OMG, I forgot about this one! Exclamation mark. I distinctly remember telling people about it when I was in 6th grade. 2011. And my teacher telling me something like, "There's no way that's legal, legit." Skateboards. 1964 or so. That's before the Lords of Dogtown. That's so cool. Did you grab a piece of wood from the hardware store and make one? My uncle was a skater in the 60s and he said he took wheels from roller skates and attached them to his homemade board. I was sleeping with my ex long before everyone started doing it. Nice. I was into memes when they were called demotivational posters. That and Rage comics. Oh my, they were awful, but I loved them. I remember Crack.com's weekly image macro contest on their forums. I guess that was my early internet meme source. We used to call them image macros back in the 2001 era. Demotivational posters were kind of a subset. I remember going around to stores trying to find all 6 issues of Infinity Gauntlet. I had read one while waiting on my mom to finish grocery shopping and I was hooked. That made me a dork in the early 90s. But now it's a billion-dollar worldwide phenomenon. I hear you. Silver Surfer number 34. Dude. I remember sneaking over to the comic book rack in the drugstore to read the Infinity Gauntlet series while my mom waited for a prescription. I came across the Lonely Island's website when I was about 11 or 12. 02, 03. Before Andy Samberg or the other two, Akiva and Jorma, were big. They had a video where they spliced all these old NES games together into a skit and it was friggin' hilarious. I never realized that video was them. I love that video. Thank you. Gmail. 2004-ish. When it was invite only. My friend had a small amount of invites, and the counter for free storage space would keep going up. Same here. I got my first name, last name, email address, and now I get emails for tons of other people with my name. I also got Facebook when it was the Facebook and required a .edu email address. I got Instagram when it was a photography app back in 2011. Same. I remember asking my friend how she got her photos to look so cool. That's when I discovered filters. Those were simpler times, when IG was more fun, personal and not filled with advertisements. Same. Everyone made fun of me for using hipster filters. I'm just glad the Nashville filter has survived this whole time. Lol. The How to Train Your Dragon books. Unfortunately, they're still not cool yet. There's books. Question mark, exclamation mark, question mark, exclamation mark, question mark, exclamation mark, question mark, exclamation mark, question mark, exclamation mark. I enjoy listening to the audiobooks. I can't understand much, but I enjoy it. Bitcoin. Altcoins didn't exist when I got started with it. Mandatory disclaimer. No, I'm not a millionaire now. I kick myself over Bitcoin all the time. I had a few hundred Bitcoins when they were hardly worth anything. I bought a pizza and some PC parts and stopped mining.